Hello everyone and welcome back again to BPS. And since your mains exams are quite near, so I hope you all are preparing very well. And just like we promised, we are getting back every day at 9 p.m. with one question to discuss. And the type of question that we will be discussing are all very thematic question. They will be based on different themes. And we will also be discussing the answers that it is written here and how you could frame your own answers and everything that is related to your answer writing practice skills. Okay, so just remember, this is just a practice session, so we are doing with the class 2, and today we will be discussing about the order of incorporating points, how you have to incorporate the points. So if you haven't checked our class 1, please go and check our class 1, and if you want link to join the answer writing group, you can get in the description. So go and check the description, join in the Telegram link, and you can join other people who are also preparing for the APSC mains. You can share your answers there, and we will be providing you a feedback, and based on that feedback you can again write your answers and frame them as best as you could. Okay, so let's discuss today. And so just like I said, you can check the link in the description. So go and check out the description, you will get the link. So what is this question that we are going to discuss today? The question is, in view of the recent NEET scam, discuss the measures that the government can implement to prevent such scams in the future. Consider the role of technology, regulation and oversight in your response. Now you see what the question is asking. This question may seem very difficult, but actually it is not a very difficult question. So in view of the recent NEET scam, so it is a very recent topic, so that is why the question we have picked out this question. So everybody of you know what the NEET scam is. I don't have to discuss this in detail. Now discuss the measures that the government can implement to prevent such scams in the future. Now the question is asking, in view of the recent NEET scam, what the government can do. Now you must have seen that a government had made a panel to discuss all the discrepancies that have happened inside the system. But now what do you think more can the government can do? So you have to give certain regulatory aspects to it. Then consider the role of technology, regulation and oversight in your response. Now you have to provide three things. One is you have to provide how the technology can help to prevent such scams. Next, on the basis of the regulation, what the government can do, what the government can regulate, what kind of laws the government can bring in to check the scams. And then oversight in your response. So oversight is basically how the government can monitor all those kind of things. Okay, so your answer, your main body of your answer is this role. Okay, the role of technology, regulation and oversight in your response. This is the main body of your answer. And based on the recent NEET scam, you have to mention certain thing about the NEET scam or certain thing about the educational scam in your introduction part. So let's see how the answer has been framed. So the introductory part. If you see the introduction, it is given in about 40 words. Okay, so include any data driven points. So in the introduction part itself, if there is any data driven thing, that is if you get any statistics, if you get any data, you have to include it in the introduction part itself. Because sometimes, let's be very practical, when the examiner has lot of answer sheets to check, he is not going to check each and every line, he is not going to check each and every detail to your answer. So your introduction matters a lot. It is like the first impression is the last impression. Okay, so if you are putting any important points in your conclusion, so let's be very practical. The examiner may not be in a mood to check your concluding part as well. So sometimes it happens. right? So what you have to do is, the best thing to grab the attention is to include all the data driven points in the introduction part itself. Now let's see what it has been written. Over the past few years, there have been more than 60 verified instances of exam leaks spanning across 15 states. So you have seen recently in the last 10 years, there are not less than 60 cases where lot of exam paper leaks have been cropped up. Even Assam has also been a subject of lot of exam paper leaks. Okay, now raising substantial concerns about the credibility of the country's top examination system, and NEET scam has topped the list by exposing dark realities centered around the examination. So you see, this introduction is only 40 words, but what the introduction is saying, it has saying that how bad the examination center, or how bad the examination system has become in India. It is already a corrupted system. So if this kind of corruption is existing in nearly 15 states and spanning over more than 60 exams, so you can understand the gravity of the problem that the examinations are facing right now. And NEET has actually topped the list, because NEET exam is one of the most prestigious Indian exams that India conducts for entrance to the medical seats. Now certain aspects, now since considering an elite exam like NEET, if this kind of exam is subjected to scams and all, then you can actually imagine the gravity of the corruption that has cropped up in the examination system. Okay, so this is the introductory part. So you see how the writer is writing, that he is giving all the data driven points in the introduction part itself. So let's say, for example, if I am the examiner, the moment I am going to examine this answer, the moment I see that this student has really well knowledge of everything, he has given statistics to say that what he wants to say, then I am really in a mood to check all his answers. I will read all the answers that he has written from top to bottom, because I am going to be interested in. But if you vaguely write answers, if you just घुमा फिरा के अगर if you write the introduction part, then the examiner may not be in a mood to understand that why you're writing such round and round, because you don't have, it is not a a degree level examination where you give a paper and whatever you feel like you write. No, you have to substantiate your answer like you really are a knowledgeable person. Okay, so this is the introductory part. Next, if we see the main body here is actually consists of 200 words. So I'll explain to you what it has been written. Now you see, per paragraph is per question requirement. That means what it is saying, the main body. Okay, this is the main body. It is nearly about 200 words. So the per paragraph is per question is per the question requirement. So what our question required, I told you that the question is asking about 3-part answer. One is the regulatory part, one is the technology part, and one is the oversight part. So first we are coming to the regulatory part, which is the requirement of the question, and we are starting our main body from that. Over the years, in dealing with malpractices around exams, the Public Examination Act 2024. So this is the Public Examination Act and has been revolutionary as it targets cheating in India by setting comprehensive rules for computer-based tests overseen by National Recruitment Agency. It defines public examination authorities and details the role of center coordinator. The Act criminalizes 15 unfair practices, including paper leaks and tampering, and imposes severe penalties with imprisonment ranging from 3 to 10 years and fines up to ₹1 crore for organized cheating offences. Now this is a recent Public Examination Act 2024. So NEET scam happened after the passing of these examination acts. So this is a regulatory movement what the government has been trying to do to prevent the scams. Now what the regulatory movement is saying, by setting comprehensive rules for the CBT, which is a computer based test. Now if you look at the entire act, the Public Examination Act, you will be finding numerous rules and laws which is being incorporated in the computer based test, which is generally overlooked by a lot of National Recruitment Agency. Next, you can also find the public examination authorities. The term has been defined for the first time, like who is a public examination authority, what is a center. Those are the kind of things that has been defined. The act criminalizes 15 unfair practices including paper leaks. So this is a very a regulatory measure which none other less, not any government have actually addressed in the last few years. So this government has brought the Public Examination Act, but in spite of bringing such act, we have seen that the NEET scam has cropped up, then we have seen the NET UGC scam has been cropped up. Now there will be more and more scams like this. So is the government going to take any measure to control this? Is the government really going to penalize those who are involved? Is really going to criminalize them who are involved or not? Okay, with imprisonment ranging from 3 to 10 years and fines up to rupees 1 crore for organized cheating offences. So this is just a brief of the entire Public Examination Act. Now why this answer has Public Examination Act 2024? Because since the question is asked on the recent NEET scam event, so when we are giving answer to certain or to a very recent question, to a very more relevant question, then what we have to do is we also have to bring certain relevant regulations. Now in the past regulations, whatever the thing was there, you cannot include those things in your answer, because the question is asking about a very recent thing. So you have to include any kind of regulation which is being done in the context of the recent times. So this is why the Public Examination Act has been mentioned here. So in terms of the regulation part, okay, so this is just an example, but even if you want to add something more in it, you can actually add more in it. Like for example, you can also give, for example, like the fundamental rights which guarantee the right to education. Those are the certain constitutional provisions which actually guarantee a fair and free, then there are undiscriminated practices, that what the constitution says that you are liable to free and fair education system. No one can discriminate you on the basis of any other criteria when it comes to the sector of the education. So those are the constitutional things also that you can bring in here. Okay, but now when we are coming to the most important part, that is the technology. See, there is one thing which every person like, and let's say that is the technology part, because everywhere you go, even if you write your UPSC exam, even if you go your APSC or any kind of exam, if it is a descriptive kind of exam, there will always be a question where your technological skills will be tested, where how much of a technology oriented person you are. Those kind of things will be tested through these kind of questions. And when you go to the interview, there is always one question which is related to the technology aspect. Now people sitting in the interview panel, many of them might not be well aware of all the technological advancement, but there will be one person who will really be interested in all these things, and he is really going to ask you about it. Okay, so in all the technological things, you must be giving priority. Now next come to the main body of the technology part. Now this is in per paragraph as per question requirement. Now let's see what this answer is. Besides this, exploring technology is vital in preventing educational exam scams by offering robust solutions such as biometric verification. So the first thing the answer has maintained is the biometric verification. Now what we do, let's say if today you are going to give an examination and we fill out the form, what we do at the max, we sign our paper, we signed our admit card, right, just before filling the form, and we give our date of birth, and those are the kind of things that we do. And when we go and sit in the exam, then the examiner will come and he's only going to check our admit card, whether the photo of the person is really the person or not. That is the basic minimum thing that they do. But is it really enough to actually prevent the scams? Let's say the biometric verification. Now the biometric verification is going to verify your fingerprint, it is going to verify your iris scan, but actually this is a very what you call, this is a very like big, something big that we are asking for, because biometric verification we have only seen in terms of the Aadhaar, but in terms of exam we don't know how big the institution is to actually handle it or not, because biometric verification at all times should always be regulated by a person who is very authorized. So no one else can come and pick out your verification, no one else can come and take your scan, no one else can come and take your signature or take your thumbprint. So those are the kind of things that the government has to maintain. Next is the AI based proctoring, which monitors exams in real time and to detect suspicious activities. Real time management, for example, like AI. For example, I'll give you a simple example. In China, they have developed a technology to prevent the scams in the examination. So what they do, per student, there are cameras which are placed in one examination hall, and there are number of students who are sitting and giving the exams. So what the camera is doing, the camera is taking everything, the temperature of the room. The camera has an AI based chip which takes the temperature of the room, which checks with how many students are there, if the student are displacing any kind of suspicious behavior, because sometimes what happens when a student is cheating, he will be displacing a lot of very suspicious behavior. He'll be looking here and there, and then he'll be doing all sorts of idiosyncratic behavior. So this happens because the person there, the person who is writing the exam, is trying to cheat. So when the cameras are placed with those kind of chips, they automatically detect that this is the person that is doing certain suspicious activities, and the camera is going to stay focused on it. The camera is not going to ring an alarm or anything, but it is going to focus on that student, and it is going to monitor what the student is doing, everything, his movement. They are going to record the movement, they are going to record everything. Now this is a very debatable thing, because we are not China, and we don't want our government to look at us from each and every angle. We don't want our government to monitor our day-to-day activities as well, but that is China. But this is what AI can do. So if the situations are really, really bad in terms of examinations, we can actually introduce this technology which is called as AI based proctoring, that can actually make a real time analysis of the examination center, how the teacher is behaving. Okay, anybody who is walking past the examination center, how that person is behaving. So it is like the keeping the record of the real time, that is somebody is there sitting in the computer room, and he can actually see what the examination center looks like. He might be sitting at a very he might be sitting in Delhi or Mumbai or someplace like that, but still he'll be able to monitor the examination center. Next we have is to protect against unauthorized access. So this happens in our examination centers all the time, because except from the police personnel, we see there are many unauthorized people who come and sit in the examination center, especially if that is a school or a college. People who are involved in the examination, teachers who are allotted as the one as the invigilator. Apart from that invigilator, there will be other people who are in the college, and they will be coming and they will be witnessing all that. They will be witnessing the exam, but they are not authorized to come and visit that place, right? There will be very unauthorized access and data breaches. Then we can use blockchain technology. Now blockchain technology for creating tamper proof records of exam process and results, ensuring transparency and integrity. Okay, so next we have is the protect. Since we already discussed about this unauthorized access, next we have this blockchain technology. Now what is this blockchain technology that we can actually do to create tamper proof? Now for the blockchain technology, which for creating tamper-proof records of exam process and results, ensuring transparency and integrity. Now what does blockchain do? Like everybody of us know what blockchain can do. It's like it replicates every time we do certain kind of activities, it creates records on a multiple platforms. For example, let's say 3 of us are giving an exam, you, me, and there is one more person who is giving who is actually giving the exam. Now let's say there is one invigilator who is going to check all our answers, right? Who is going to check all our answers. Now what is happening, let's say you have given your answer at this point of time. Let's say you have submitted your answer scripts at this time. I have submitted, let's say 2 minutes later, and the third person has submitted, let's say 3 minutes later, right? And the person who has collected it, it's a one person. So let's say the blockchain technology, what it is going to do, it is going to make 4 copies of itself, 4 copies of the entire event. One copy will be in the registry of the person, of the invigilator. One copy will be in your, one copy will be given to me, and one copy will be given to the next person who is giving the exam. So everybody of us are actually is actually somewhere or the other connected in this entire examination process. Now let's say there is one person, let's say the person sitting next to me, he wants to make a deal, he wants to make a deal with the people involved, and he wants to cheat in the exam, he wants to score more. Now what is going to happen in case for him things to incorporate in his answer scripts? So people who will be involved in changing his answer scripts will have to change all the blockchain ones. He has to change the data in my account, he has to change the data in your account, he has also to change the data in the one person who has collected our answer script. So it becomes a very more tedious work, and number of times that the invigilator has made a contact with each and every student, the number of the ledger that the blockchain technology is going to create. So it will become next to impossible for some outer agency to come and pick answer scripts and write answers in that question. Why? Because the blockchain has already made a record of the number or the multiple times that we had actually made interactions there. Okay, so this is what happens in case if we use the blockchain technology. Sorry. Next we have is the advanced encryption methods can monitor tools, can detect and prevent fraudulent activities. Encryption, like for example, we send WhatsApp messages, right? So our WhatsApp messages are considered to be encrypted. That means what the message I have sent to you, no outer agency can come and hack the information and send and steal all the information that I have sent you in your WhatsApp account. So it is what it is believed to be the work of the encryption. So in case if this is what we also do in our examination center, maybe to a certain extent, to a large extent, we can actually prevent all the fraudulent activities. But this is a very ambitious thing to say, because most of the examination centers in India will actually lack this kind of technology. And not only examination center, our administrators have to be trained in this, our policy makers have to be trained in this, then we have to train the teachers and the invigilators involved to do this. There'll be lot of mishaps if we start doing this right away. So it will need a lot of time, maybe another 5-6 years to incorporate all these in the examination center. But still, in case if these kind of technologies are accessible or are available to us, then definitely steps should be taken to incorporate them right away. Okay. Next we see the main body is the oversight. That means it was asking you what government else can do in matters of monitoring. Now overall, a robust system should involve checking for compliance, identifying and correcting mistakes, and preventing misconduct and ensuring accountability. Okay, so robust system, that means a system which is working, which also monitors, then it checks for compliance, that how many people have actually complied. There was one case, I think you remember, that Bihar wala case, the topper Bihar, that she said that her favorite subject was political science, but she said that it is prodigal science. And when the reporter asked her, what do you mean by prodigal science, and she said khana banana. So that was the state of Bihar. Even now the same situation is going on. So after those kind of things, when the examination centers, when people involved in the examination started again questioning that girl, she declined to comply. She said that I'm having a lot of health issues and all, and she took some court orders and not to go to the to the panel and talk about her means of passing the exam or her means of scoring more and more. So those are some compliance issues that we often get, because many a times when big people are involved in it, what they do is they seek a lot of court orders and then they say that I am not in a state to go and face any kind of investigating agencies because I am not in a good health or something like that. So that is a big issue, that is a compliance issue. And when it comes to health or anything, when it comes to your own basic fundamental right, so nobody can force you to go and sit in an invigilation team and start cooperating until and unless it is not a matter of national security. So in cases like that, often we have seen that people go to court and they take out an order from the magistrate stating that they have a health problems, and so they are not in a position to face the invigilation team. Next is identifying and correcting mistakes. Let's say if this exam has certain kind of anomalies, right? Let's say for example there's a certain center, let's say there are 14 centers for one particular exam. Okay, so out of that 14 center, one center was caught with some certain fraudulent activities. Let's say there's one center who has been caught with lot of fraudulent activities, and from that center itself the paper leak started. So in case if such measures, if such problems come into the notice of the administrator, right away what they should do is they should actually cancel the center for the any kind of future exams. So that center has to be barred from addressing or from entertaining any other exams in the future. The principal has to be held accountable, the people involved has to have accountability, because in case if people don't take accountability, if nobody is involved in it, if people say I was not present there, I don't know what happened. So those are certain kind of excuses that often people give. And now many people say that the principal was not involved in the cheating code, and it was only people who were administering the exam that was involved. So why the principal is being harassed, or why the principal is being asked? So because the principal is the leading agent, is a leading agent in the entire center, he has to ensure that every people who is selected for the invigilation team is right on spot. He has to go and report to the authorities in case he sees any kind of anomaly, because it's better go and report it at the right time that this is the anomaly I have seen in my center. So I don't know, so I cannot guarantee the authenticity of the results that come out from my center. So those are the certain kind of steps that can be taken. Okay, next we have is conclusion. So in the conclusion part, always give your own opinion, what you think. You may think right, you may think wrong, you may think left, right, center, whatever, but give your opinion, because that defines who you are. Okay, just because everybody is talking right, you cannot talk right. Just because everybody is talking left, you cannot talk left. Okay, so sometimes or the other you must have your own opinion, what you think, because many a times what happens, we depend on someone else to make their opinion, to make their answer, and we just follow blindly. But if you're an administrator, if you're an officer, you must have your own opinion, you must believe what you think is right. Okay, because that is an important point for any kind of decision making. Moreover, reducing exam pressure and fostering cultural shift towards holistic learning can diminish the incentive for malpractice. That means we have lot of pressure, exam pressure. करना ही है, नीट एग्जाम पास करना है, ये पास करना है, इंजीनियर बनना है, ये करना है, वो करना है. So lot of exam pressure. And when there is a lot of exam pressure, what people do, what parents do, they resort to all these kind of things. They go and they pay whoever is there to secure a seat for their son or daughter. They are ready to pay even lakhs of rupees. So when there is a lot of exam pressure, people get an incentive to go, like I can pay for this, when there is a high demand for it. But in case if there is no much if there is not much of an exam pressure, then in that case you can make a very good point in this. Then you have to take a cultural shift towards holistic learning. Let's say for example here one point is missing, and that is that is national education policy. So in your conclusion part, you can include also some basic tenets of the national education policy in the cultural shift towards holistic learning. So in this case, what will happen, more and more importance will be given to the skill education rather than marks, rather than exams, and so incentives for malpractice will automatically be reduce, and promoting integrity and a more authentic, well-rounded educational experience in society. So this is a concluding remark. Do not forget to include your remarks on the national education policy, whichever you feel like, whatever point you seem fit to be included here, you can include, and the rest of the body I have discussed. So I hope this was a very useful session to you. If you have any question, you can please comment it down below, and the entire you can frame your answer on this question, and you can send it to us on our group, and the link of the group is given in the description, so do check out the description. Okay, so see you again tomorrow. Till then, take care and all the best.